With utmost humility, sincerity, and transparency, I am honored to present my vision for the University of the Philippines College of Forestry and Natural Resources, accompanied by a comprehensive action agenda aimed at transforming this vision into a tangible reality. This vision is aligned with UP's institutional mandate, which encompasses performing its unique and distinctive leadership role in higher education and development as a public and secular institution of higher learning and a community of scholars dedicated to the search for truth and knowledge, as well as the development of future leaders. So, again, I would just want to remind everyone of the responsibility and the role that we play, concerning the forestry sector. So just looking at these basic statistics, in 2019, the percent share of the forestry sector in the GDP at current prices was 0.013. And in 2022, 3 years, it went down further by 65%, to 0.005%. Our importation in 2019 is already so big at $1.4 billion annually. In 3 years, it further declined to $2.6 billion or 78% in import of forest-based product. And then, in spite of being one of 17 mega diverse countries in the world, our species planted continue to be dominated by exotic species, as I mentioned a while ago. And if you look at the statistics, greening initiatives are driven by the government, not by the public, not by the private sector. Government has spent no less than 70 billion pesos in the last 6 or 7 years. But the private sector actually has no records in our Philippine forestry statistics, because that's how meager their contribution is. So it's against this backdrop that we have to contend with. And in terms of poverty, our fisher folks, 30.6%, farmers, 30%, children, 26.4%, individuals residing in rural areas, 25.7%, remained the poorest sector in terms of poverty incidence. Our average poverty incidence is 16-something percent, 16.7%. But if you disaggregate the data, this is the poverty incidence. I specifically pointed this out because forestry belongs to the farmers here, 30%. The same with fisher folks. So that's the background of our sector where we operate. Against this background, I envision opportunities for future-proofing the forestry sector given the CFNR's threefold functions in instruction, research, and extension. The CFNR has to play a more proactive role in addressing these challenges, and this resonates well with the call of UP President Angelo Jimenez, where the University of the Philippines is duty-bound to deliberately and vigorously include public service beyond its long-established creed of honor and excellence. So we have to actually emphasize more on public service. My 3 years of collaboration with you, my dear colleagues and constituents in and outside of the CFNR, and the greater public in general have made me wiser and more discerning. More importantly, I have been humbled given the immense issues and challenges. This made me realize certain things. as foresters, we're expected to see beyond trees. Because in reality, we seldom venture outside our comfort zones. But once we implement projects out there in the field, we have to deal with different stakeholders, different organizations. So you have the people's organization, the business sector, the government, local government, civil society. So this goes beyond our core courses like silviculture. So it's really, a lot has to do with facilitating, coordinating, mobilizing, no, to get things done. So it is within this perspective that I view the trajectory for the CFNR to be able to strategically position the college in the development of the forestry sector. Okay. So I've already explained the vision earlier and the mission. So for strategy, no, our strategy is a hashtag CFNR4UN. Our collaborative advocacy propels us to work for collaborative future-proofing of nature-based and forest resources development for the university and the nation. And this can be done through collaborative work, together with good governance, application of science and technology, and working in collaboration with stakeholders. The challenges confronting the country in forestry, natural resources, and the environment can be weathered. So for here, making forestry education, science, and technology work for society and the country. Promoting holistic forestry education, we propose to extend the duration of our internship program from 4 or 5 weeks to at least 1 semester. We did the benchmarks, no, with other universities in the region. And we also started talking with private companies and even the government. Number one, foremost, no, in the among the feedback is that we lack skills, but we're very good cognitively. No? So that's one of the things we'd like to do. And then integration of skills in social entrepreneurship and community organizing in the forestry curriculum. We are dealing with poor sectors of society. We cannot lead them if we are not equipped in entrepreneurship and enterprise development, business skills. So this means collaborating and working also with other colleges, no? So that that skill can be enhanced. And then inclusion of varied teaching and learning approaches with emphasis on more hands-on experience. That's one of the reasons why we are aggressively refurbishing the sawmill, why we're putting up plantations in the land grant. And also our nursery, no, the mechanized nursery. Anyway, land bank means money, so we have to really strive to make more money, generate more revenues. No? And change in program structure and institution of new 200-level courses to address gaps in the different areas of specialization. We have started that, and we will continue working on that. No? Again, I've also mentioned this. We will more aggressively pursue this. Then institute a new professional master's program, Master in Integrated Natural Resources and Environmental Governance, Master in Assessment and Management of Ecosystem Services. Then inclusion of Associate of Science in Forestry in the listing of sub-professional courses under the Philippine qualification framework, no? Professional qualification framework, and being managed by the PRC. And then active implementation of the micro-credential programs. And with we have started the discussions with the Professional Regulation Commission for eligibility of our graduates, no, to take the and ENP licensure examination. We have actually started talking to PRC on this. And then, again, I've discussed this also, implementation of the Batch 4, and then improvement of learning laboratories, such as the CFNR UPLB managed Mount Makiling Forest Reserve, an ASEAN Heritage Park, and the Sierra Madre land grants. No? So we'll actually make more use of these forests, no? As outdoor laboratories of students. This has already been started, developing a strategic plan for the Mount Makiling Forest Reserve, done by an inter-college team. It has to be approved by the BOR. The plan here is that we should be able to implement long-term programs, but that's only possible if we'll have a strategic plan approved by the Board of Regents. So the preparation of this strategic plan was headed by academician and our professor, Dr. Juan Pulhin. No? And then we'll intensify the conduct of internship and career fairs. We had a very successful career fair last year, and that was headed by Professor Guns Andrada. No? They were able to mobilize a lot of private sector. And expanding local and global partnerships, championing integrated forestry and natural resources management in partnership with INREM and with the other interdisciplinary studies center. We'll continue our membership here and play a more active role. Yeah. Will further strengthen the international mobility of our students. As I've said, 18 of our students have actually gone abroad, different countries. And nurturing partnership with international organizations. We're particularly keen on cultivating further, deepening our relationship with the National Taiwan University. We've gone there, they've gone here, together with the Chancellor, and we have talked of specific projects together, like a forest therapy hub. They will assist us in managing our nursery, bringing in more technologies, no? And also finalize our membership in the ASEAN Network of University Forests. These were our long-term monitoring plots, will come in very handy. Because under this network, they have been monitoring their forests for more than 120 years. So we'd like to also be included in that network. And co-designing and environmental programs with SUCs, the LGUs, and other stakeholders, in reach to reef approaches in local development and investment plans. So it's not only us who will be designing, but co-creating, co-designing will be done with the other stakeholders. So we will be more responsive and attuned to their needs. No? Thematic agenda number 2. Again, I've talked about this, but we will make sure that this will continue and will further strengthen our collaboration and linkages with the private sector and also with the government. Championing net zero through establishment of a college-based carbon program. So we are in discussions, this in the pipeline, to have a forest carbon program where our partnership with other private companies will be actually housed. No? And then under the forest carbon program, we already have identified research areas. Like, for instance, that's one of the reasons why we're not able to aggressively shift to planting our endemic indigenous native trees, because we have scant researches along these lines. For instance, we don't even know our mean annual incremental growth rates of our native trees. Only very, very few. So we plan to do this, no? Both for protection and for production purposes. And we are participating in carbon footprinting. The university, no, through the initiative of the Chancellor, will be enrolling the university in the net zero carbon. And our college will also be participating heavily with that. No? So we have faculty members who are in charge of this. We're also actively engaged with the private sector. I saw here Professor Emeritus Chancellor Rex, no, who's also helping the college, no, in this collaboration, no, with the private sector. There's a coalition of the private businesses engaged in nature-based solutions, primarily carbon offsetting, and these are the big companies in the Philippines. No? You're talking of Ayala, you're talking of Shell Philippines, Prime Infra, SM, Kennimer, and many other, EDC, no? They're part of this coalition, no? I've talked also about the Thousand Forest movie, but that movie is only part of a program. The program is called a Thousand Forest Program. The program is about harmonizing and synergizing all greening efforts in the Philippines. So we will be working closely with the DNR. And this is part of the MOU that actually we signed with the DNR, that will be working together with them so that all initiatives will be accounted, no, for, and that a review every year of our impact, no, of achievement of the targets will be done. That's why the DNR Secretary actually will be reporting the progress annually during Earth Day. These are some of the studies that we need to implement, no, to do, so that we'll gradually shift from dependence on endemic, exotic species to endemic species. No? A mean annual increment, no, growth studies, continuous studies on the characterization of wood from selected indigenous tree species. So we have to know the mechanical, the physical, the chemical properties of wood, so that industry actually can start shifting from use of exotics to endemic species. And we have funded researches along this line. Expand studies on native trees, no? Both for utilization and carbon offsets. So these are very specific, targeted studies to achieve certain goals. No? Here, I've mentioned that already. For thematic action 3, we will continue, no? Working on what we've started and even expand it more. No? Thank you again for the administration for the installation of the fiber optics cable in our campus. Now we are connecting the different buildings. Okay. Infrastructure. Okay. Student welfare. We'll do the copy hand. Then also expanding student loan. Basically, we've started that. We'll just strengthen it. No. Then scholarship. Okay, part of our enterprise development. Then we'll have at least 2 times a year training courses for academic and non-academic units of CFNR through TRIS and the Pacdal Baguio City. So, to summarize, again, those are the 4 thematic areas to be able to achieve the vision, no? The plans and programs that we have outlined. Again, thank you very much for your kind attention.